Hello, my name is Patricia and this is the Poetry Pea podcast. I'm really happy to tell you that I've lots of original work for you on this podcast. First, from our monthly video prompt, which if you haven't submitted already is on the Poetry Pea YouTube channel. Just pop your submission into the comments section so our lovely, hard-working editor, Linda Ludwig, can see it. Remember, this is a great way to showcase your work, whether it's chosen to feature on the podcast or not. Because so many poets take part, your work will have a good-sized audience. Then, of course, there are the poems from the recent Flashku. And if you have no idea what I'm on about, you really need to sign up for the Poetry Pea mailing. It's on the website. You see, only the poets on the mailing are invited to take part in Flashku. And next year, the mailing will become much more important because there are so many more opportunities to have your work published, only available to poets on the mailing list. Oh, and by the way, the topics for next year will be out soon. At the risk of repeating myself, the mailing list will get to know first, of course. In a bit of other news, I was delighted to see that Poetry Pea had an increase in listeners of 80% on the Podbean podcast platform. That's since September. I was amazed. Thank you to all my new listeners from Podbean. If you don't use them already and you're looking for somewhere else to listen to your podcasts, I'll stick the link in the show notes. And if you're listening in real time, the window for Zoka submissions will shut in 2 days. Crikey, better get your submission in if you haven't done it so already. There's a bit of help for you in the podcast with Janice Doppler, episodes 31 and 32 of this 6th series. Everything's on the website, or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, our YouTube channel. Now let's hear what you've actually come along to hear. Some poetry. We'll start with a YouTube prompt from October and give a big shout out to Linda Ludwig for reading all your submissions. It was a big job this month. We had so many. Thank you for your support. We're just sorry we can't take everyone's work. Collective memory. Retracing the steps of their ancestors. Collective memory. Retracing the steps of their ancestors. Kim Clue. Zoo elephant. Does he dream also of distant savannas? Zoo elephant. Does he dream also of distant savannas? Deborah A. Bennett. Jungle safari. On an elephant the sun rides. Jungle safari. On an elephant the sun rides. Lakshmi Iyer. Following in footprints. An egret. Following in footprints. An egret. Wanda Amos. Long afternoon in the savannah. Where are the zebra? Long afternoon in the savannah. Where are the zebra? Rupa Anand. Now, our lovely poets were responding to a video I made when I was out in South Africa over the Christmas period last year. And Rupa, there were lots of zebra there, some of them with their young. They were lounging about, taking it easy, chilling in the South African sun. Now, before I read the Flashku results, let me say a thank you to all of you who bought me a coffee last month. Kimberly Kuchar, Katie Haddock, Jenny Shepherd, Jerome Bergland, Linda Ludwig, Susan Andrews, and Eve Castle. Thanks too to everyone who donated when downloading the show notes, and of course, to those of you who are buying Journal 123, which was our first journal of the year. I can't continue to produce all the resources we currently give without donations or the sale of the journal. Speaking of journals, there will be another one out at the end of the year. Now for the results of the Flashku. And a quick reminder that the poetry read out today will be in the next journal, 223, and not in the show notes. Mountain sunrise, deep in the wind, our chant. Mountain sunrise, deep in the wind, our chant. Kathleen Trockmett. Gravesite service. The split family speaks through crackling leaves. Graveside service. The split family speaks through crackling leaves. Richard L. Matter. Sunlit bench. Autumn settling on the roadside trees. Sunlit bench. Autumn settling on the roadside trees. Govind Joshi. A love letter in broken English. Bluebells. A love letter in broken English. Bluebells. Alvin B. Cruz. Late autumn breeze. The silence of the trees. Late autumn breeze. The silence of the trees. Shrini. Still life. I turn the apple around to hide the bruise. Still life. I turn the apple around to hide the bruise. Kimberly Kuchar. Another fall. Already leafing through summer brochures. Another fall, already leafing through summer brochures. Tracy Davidson. Autumn deepens. Woolly socks migrate to the top of the drawer. Autumn deepens. Woolly socks migrate to the top of the drawer. Sally Kwan. Sally, I think you can add gloves to socks. This morning I went out on my bike ride. 2 layers of socks, 2 layers of gloves. It's a bit nippy here. Far from home, the length of a breath. Far from home, the length of a breath. Rita Melisano. And now I have a few honourable mentions for you. Leafy oaks camouflage the waxing hunter's moon. Leafy oaks camouflage the waxing hunter's moon. Helen Buckingham. 7 swans, their bellies the colour of dawn. 7 swans, their bellies the colour of dawn. Tony Williams. Yellow to red, the uneven ratio of autumn. Yellow to red, the uneven ratio of autumn. Scott Wigerman. And finally, to end our poetry for the day, the editor's choice. Drifting into the blues, Twilight Moon. Drifting into the blues, Twilight Moon. Tina Mowry. Mega congratulations to Tina and to all the poets who had their works selected. And thank you to everyone who submitted. It was a real pleasure to read your work. And of course, a big thank you to the team who joined me to read the submissions. That's Linda Ludwig, Robert Horrobin, Lorraine Padden, Ronald Craig and Liam Maguire. We were very busy bees. I hope you enjoyed the results. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, do please give us a shout out on social media. That would be most appreciated. And I'll see you back here next week for a little bit more of Poetry P. But until then, keep writing. Oh, and don't forget, if you haven't got your submissions in for whatever we're reading, get cracking. Ciao!